Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 7th. This week, you have this Breathe In card. It says Practice Breathwork Today. You have this Let Go of the Past card. It says it's time to envision a new story. Yes, Cancer, we are definitely in a time where we have to start telling a new story, and especially you. And the other thing is we're about to have a Mercury retrograde, of course. So, with Mercury retrograde, we have to let go of the past story. You have this willing release card as well. And, when we let go of that old story, that's when, good new things can happen. So, I think that a lot of you could be letting something go at this time. And, obviously that would be good. I would also say that, the Aries energy that we have right now could be a little bit intense for you, especially this week. But, we have Neptune and Saturn in Aries, and Chiron is also in Aries as well. And so I feel that some of you, that the, just people is what I would say. I actually don't think it is you that you're picking up on. I think that you are picking up on the emotions of other people, right? This Saturn and Aries especially can be a little bit hot-headed. You can see people being, you can see, I don't want to say that you see the worst of people, but it's like you see that hot-headed side of people. And, so there might be things that you see that you don't like. And, I think that really, to use a cliche, because I only use cliches in Cancer readings. Why? I don't know. But because, and, I think you need to be the change you want to see in the world, right? So that's what I would do here. In your first row for your current general energies for the week, you have the Ace of Wands, the Four of Wands, and the Knight of Cups. Again, your readings for love have been very good. So if you want love, there definitely could be a spicy new connection coming in for you. Could be like a knight in shining armor type situation that's coming in for you with the Ace of Wands. I feel like this is like a little bit of an edgy person in some way. I don't know. It's popping into my head. It's like, I feel like I've said this to you before, Cancer. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I have. It's like, it's like a church girl with a biker. It's like, that's what I see in my head. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've said this to you. This is like a theme that keeps coming up for you. So it's like, it's like you might be attracting a person who has a little bit of an edge. And it doesn't matter what gender you're into either. Is this a bad thing? No, I would say no. You have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. It's like everything you want and desire. And, just because the person's a biker, does that mean they're a bad person? No, of course not. So, again, I think that, but I just feel like they're maybe a little bit edgy or something. I don't know. Like, why does this matter? I have no clue. You tell me. But the Ace of Wands is also a great card for, like, new growth. So if you're growing anything new or working on anything new in life, I feel there could be a lot of growth. You have the Four Wands. Four Wands can represent marriage, of course. So literally could be a person that you will marry in the future. Four Wands is about setting yourself free, though. And I do feel with the Ace of Wands that you have to set yourself free from something. Ace of Wands is out with the old and with the new. And the Four Wands kind of says something from the past is complete. It's a finish line card. We have to cross through this finish line in the middle. And sorry, this is off a little bit. And so we have to cross through that finish line in the middle and celebrate with these people on the other side. So I do feel like there's something new that you have to start. And then again, in your you have the Let Go of Your Past card in your next row. You have the Willing Release card in the last row. You have this Time Is Up card. It's like obvious to me that the universe wants you to release something so you can have something like better in your life. You have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles here. You have the Knight of Cups, so it could be a knight in shining armor here. It's like I feel like you're unsure about this. We go up to the moon to the Ten of Cups, and we have the Two of Swords here with the Tower. Tower is coming up in the good stuff, so wouldn't worry about it. The Tower in the good stuff could represent avoiding a Tower moment, or it could represent a pleasant surprise. So wouldn't even worry about it, but again, definitely could be like a knight in shining armor with that Knight of Cups. Love it. Let's see where this is going for you here, Cancer. And that's that. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, I think you'll be very happy if this is a person. Three of Cups is a celebration, happiness, all that other good stuff. Also, if you're starting anything new. By the way, again, this reading is also good for money. You have that Ten of Pentacles. So if you're starting anything new, the Three of Cups can be a celebration. It can be a card of these three ladies are celebrating a harvest. So if you're doing anything to make money, or if you're starting business or whatever, definitely very good for business. With the Four of Wands, you have the Hierophant, marriage, again. So there you go. Definitely could be married. I'm not saying that you are getting married right now, but you definitely could be meeting a person that you will marry in the future if you want that. The Hierophant can be a very good connection. The other thing I would say is we see a lot of dreaminess here in the reading. The Hierophant, the Knight of Cups, the Moon, the Ten of Cups. These are all kind of like very dreamy cards. And the Hierophant and the Four of Wands are cards of commitment. So, this reading could also say that you literally need to commit to the dream and make it happen. Having said that, with the Knight of Cups, you have the Lovers. So there you go, Cancer. Definitely could be a loving connection. If you already have love, by the way, this is very positive. This could be things improving in your connection. And even if you don't want love, this could be something that you will love. You have the Ten of Pentacles, which is amazing. So, this could be like a business that becomes an establishment. Ten of Pentacles is something that lasts for a very long time. So, again, even if you don't want love, what you will love with this reading, or what you're about to do, is build something that you will love, right? And that could be anything. It could be yourself. It could be a business. The Ten of Pentacles really could be anything, because Ten of Pentacles is your dream life. It is everything you want and desire. It is building, leaving a legacy. So, and then we go up to the Nine of Cups. So it literally could just be something that you are wishing and dreaming for, that you are building in your life. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card. It says it is what it is. You have this willing release card as well. Yeah, I think that letting go of something from the past would be a very good idea. That is that card that said, I can't talk today, but that it is what it is card, I feel like is saying that sometimes there is no answer. Like I've worked with a lot of people over the years where it's like they ask me a million times, like I'm not criticizing these people or anything, but they ask me a million times, like, am I going to get closure from this person? And like maybe the reading I do always says no, right? And it's like we have to be comfortable with that. And I always tell people, like, maybe I'm a little bit of a hard ass, but it's like, do you really need closure? The answer is no. It's like the person left you and maybe there is no good reason. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, it hurts, but it's like maybe it just wasn't right and maybe there is no reason. But also, like, maybe you really don't want to know. That's what I always think about as well. It's like, if you find out the truth is much, much worse. And, it's like, I will tell you, I dated a person for years, and well, really for a year, and then we were like, complicated on Facebook for 3 years. It was stupid. But anyway, I found out the truth about this person because someone in their life told me, and I blocked them. It's funny because I blocked them after they ignored me for like 2 weeks, and they were like, why did you block me? I'm like, oh, I don't know, all these horrible effing things that you did, period. You're a horrible person, right? Literally. And I don't say that lightly because I don't criticize any of my exes, even that person, like I don't like whatever, but horrible stuff, right? And that hurt so much more. It's like if that person just left, I feel like it would have been much easier, but knowing the truth, it was significantly worse, right? And so I tell you this because maybe you don't want to know the truth. There you go. That was your happy story for Tuesday, or whatever today is, the day you're watching this. You have this Knight of Swords, the Moon, and the Two of Swords. Knight of Swords can be rushing, and rushing towards something as well. And what's crazy is Pisces had the Knight of Swords in exactly the same position. So I would make sure that you are not rushing towards something with the Knight of Swords, and I would make sure that you are like taking your time. We are very close to Mercury retrograde. This retrograde seems to be a little bit like, I don't know, like not bad, but there are some tricky elements to this retrograde, I would say. And I feel that this retrograde in particular, we shouldn't just assume things. The Knight of Swords, like the problem with the Knight of Swords is assuming things. He's assuming things and being too hasty. And so I think we should probably like take our time with like decisions and choices and, not move too quickly and all that other good stuff. You have the Moon. The Moon, again, is not seeing things clearly, needing to get clarity on a situation. Again, if there's anything you're unsure of, I actually don't think there would be anything wrong with you just, like, I don't think you're putting things off, but I think it would be fine for you to not make any big decisions until, like, the end of August or the beginning of September. Because the Moon, again, we have this Mercury retrograde coming up. The Moon can just represent a general lack of clarity. And, we have the retrograde until August 12th, but you might as well say the end of August. So, again, if you want to take your time, I'm not saying that you have to do that. I'm just saying there would be nothing wrong if you did, right? And the other thing is I would be careful of your emotions with all this Aries energy. We kind of said this at the beginning of the reading. You have this card. It says, practice breath work today, right? I think that Cancers should really ask themselves, like, how do I feel? But maybe you need to make sure that you know. Sometimes I think we feel a certain way, but it's really other people's feelings that we're feeling. And I feel like this card is saying you need to know how you feel about things. And, I would really pay attention. You have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords can be like this or that thinking, and Two of Swords can say, you always get this card with me, and I'm always saying to you that something is not going to go how you think, right? And I think that's totally true. She has this island behind her, and, she's thinking this or that, but really something that she's thinking about is going to go a completely different direction. So I would say, like, don't be too fixed in how you think things are going to go. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Two of Wands. I do feel it's a good time for you to let something go, though. Quickly, if there is something that you're letting go of. Again, he's standing where he has always been. The wand behind him says that something is complete. This wand stands on its own, and he's reaching forward and grabbing onto a new wand. So he has to walk away from this wand that is done, and he has to walk towards something new. And that's what I would encourage you to do there. With the Moon, you have two cards. You have the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords again, so no rushing. Eight of Pentacles, very good for work, right? So a lot of you, with the Moon, with the Eight of Pentacles, can be like wondering if you're doing the right work. The problem with the Eight of Pentacles is very good, but the problem with the Eight of Pentacles is it's material success on the horizon, meaning more financial success coming in the future. So it's like sometimes with the Eight of Pentacles, we do have to work blindly for a certain period of time before we actually get a decent result. And, that's kind of what I feel for you here with the Eight of Pentacles. It's like I remind people all the time, I teach YouTube on the weekends, and people will say to me, like, oh, I published these 2 videos on my channel. I don't have 1 million subscribers yet. I'm like, I had to struggle for 5 freaking years before I broke 100,000, right? Subscribers. And it was a struggle. Like, I was stuck at 440,000 for like years. So it's like, yeah, it's not going to happen overnight, right? And that is like the Eight of Pentacles. If you're working on something, I think you need to say to yourself, like, am I putting in an honest effort, or am I just trying to run away from success with that Knight of Swords, right? With the Two of Swords, you have the Emperor. Yeah, I definitely feel like you could be attracting an Emperor type person. There's something about this here, Cancer. I keep wanting to say Aries, sorry. But there's something about it. It could be an Aries that you're attracting, for sure, Cancer. But, it's like this has been coming up for you for weeks. It's like I feel like some of you have your eye on a person, but it's like you're not doing anything. Or, I don't know. Like, I'm not calling you out or anything. You can do whatever you want. But, again, it's like there's something here that you're not sure of. Could be past connections that are interrupting this as well. I don't know. Just, something to think about. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Flow card and the Synchronicity card. I think you need to pay attention to synchronicities because they're guiding you at this time. I also think you need to pay attention to the flow. It is kind of like a very simple, basic time that we're in as far as the astrology is concerned. I really do feel that things that are going to work are going to have a nice flow. Of course, there will always be obstacles. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but I do. Because, people say to me, like, I tried to do this thing and I stubbed my toe. I'm like, okay, that's like one little freaking thing. Get over it and keep going. It's like, obviously, if you're working on something and it's a constant brick wall that you cannot get over no matter what you try, obviously it's time to make a change. But if you're like stubbing your toe, or your grandma yells at you, or whatever excuse you're going to give me, then obviously that you could still be in the flow and shit happens, right? So I think people need to understand that, but keep pushing. But, again, I think for the most part, there's going to be a nice general flow as far as the things that you're doing are concerned. I also feel that there will be a lot of synchronicities based off of the good things, things that you want in life. Like if you're doing something with a person, you're like, oh, I like this person. Should I date this person? And then maybe you look at your watch and it's 11:11. It's like, that might be a synchronicity, right? So maybe you think of the person, they text you. Maybe this happens like 10 times in a row. Probably a synchronicity. Probably something that you should pay attention to. You have the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and Seven of Wands. Really good row, right? On a very simple level, I feel like the row is saying you need to maintain the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. Seven of Wands is about protecting something. So, the Seven of Wands is kind of like drawing a line in the sand, having those boundaries. So if you get into something that is good in your life, I feel like you need to protect it, whether it's business or work or otherwise, right? You really need to protect it. I'll give you a couple examples. Number one, I've heard too many stories from people where they're like, I was dating a person, I really liked them, and my friends told me to break up with them because they're controlling, because they think they were controlling, so I broke up with them, and now they won't talk to me and I want them back. Too freaking bad. Why'd you listen to your friends, right? Why? I don't understand this. And I hear it all the time in the comments. Why? Why are you listening to people who are miserable, right? Number one, it's like they probably are miserable and just don't want you to be happy. Or maybe you're spending more time with that person and they're jealous, right? So it's like we have to think, why is this person saying it? We also have to look at the evidence. Maybe the person is controlling, and if there is evidence of that, then leave. But maybe also not. Maybe it's a good person, and it's something that you should protect, right? Same thing with work and business as well. It's like I think that, something I've seen a lot, especially in my own life, but other people's lives, when they become more successful, it's like all of a sudden other people will want more of their time, right? And it's like, they're kind of like trying to pull them away from their success. And I would be very careful of that with the energy that we see here. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family. Definitely could be a good love connection. Again, I'm telling you right now, if you're attracting a person, I would definitely protect this, for sure. I would do whatever you can to make sure that people don't get in the way, of the success of this situation. Especially nowadays. Again, I hear so many stories like this of friends or family getting in between, connections and ruining them when it was a really good connection. So I would definitely be careful. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is like everything you want and desire in your life. So Ten of Pentacles is building, leaving a legacy. And I do feel like there could be a lot of success coming in for you with the Ten of Pentacles. Like I've said to others, it's kind of impossible, I think, for us to not be working towards our Ten of Pentacles, no matter how big or small it is. We have Uranus and Taurus. Actually, this week on the 7th, Uranus moves into Gemini. But it doesn't matter. When a major planet leaves a sign, that's when we really start implementing the lessons. So Uranus and Taurus wants us to build true freedom. And true freedom is, kind of takes time to build. And, it's like, over time we get to that level of freedom and we build that level of security. And so I kind of feel the Ten of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands here are talking about building or creating more security in your life. The Seven of Wands is about drawing a line in the sand. I feel that when we are clear on exactly what we want out of life, it's like these issues with other people and everything aren't really that big of a deal, because it's like if you're clear on what you want, and like let's say someone's complaining about your relationship and saying they're controlling, they take up too much of your time and I never talk to you anymore. It's like if you know exactly what you want out of life, then you can take a cold hard look at your relationship and you can say, actually, no, they are not controlling. This is exactly what I want. When you're not clear, that's where the problem is, right? So I kind of feel that with the Seven of Wands, it's saying, it'd be a good time for you to be clear about what you want in all areas of your life, because then, if someone says something like, oh, you're being too busy in your business and all this other stuff, then you could say, actually, I'm not, because this is actually what I want, right? With the Ten of Cups, you have the Two of Swords. Yes, I feel like you are going to have your Ten of Cups, but probably in a different way. Whenever this happens, whenever I get a card here and then the same card at the top, to me, it's like the universe is zooming in on this situation right here, the Two of Swords, right? And so I feel like you need to make the decision to have your Ten of Cups. And it might mean you have to cut some things out or remove yourself from some people or get away from some people or situations, but, it is what it is. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Cups. Yes, do not give up on your Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles takes time. We kind of talked about this earlier. It's like something might not happen overnight, but that doesn't mean that it isn't happening. So, I feel like the Nine of Wands is saying don't give up on something that you're working towards, and that's what I would do here. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups can represent disappointments and all that other stuff. Maybe you're fearing a disappointment here. It's so weird because it's like such a good row, and then you have this stuff. It's like I'm wondering if this is like mental, like worried about disappointments, worried that things will be a disappointment. But again, he needs to turn around, see these two cups and this bridge and this castle, right? So he has to be grateful for what he has, and the Five of Cups is all about practicing gratitude. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Up in the Air card. It says, the situation has many unknown elements due to the influence of others. You cannot frickin' make that up. this is showing up in the good stuff, but, due to the influence of others, I feel that you need to make your own decisions at this time, Cancer, and not listen to other people, right? You have this time is up card. It says no second chances, no revisiting. There's something better waiting. It's like all your readings basically have been saying for like months now that there is something better. Two of Swords. I always get it for you on the Two of Swords. So there is clearly something that you need to see that could be better for you, that's coming in for you or something. I would even though this is coming up in the good stuff, I would still be very careful of like how other people are influencing you. The other thing is like I would protect something. I always tell people, always get mad at me when I say this, but like really I don't care. And what I would say is, it's like I think we should be very careful if we are in something that's good, like especially in relationships, right? It's like we should be careful of our friends who just went through a bad breakup. We probably shouldn't spend time with them right now, especially if they're in a negative headspace, right? Because it's like I've seen it too many times, right? Where a friend will ruin a connection because they went through a breakup. Same thing with divorced people as well. And again, I'm not saying divorced people are bad. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them or anything like that. But especially freshly divorced, if they've been divorced and it's been years or whatever, they're fine. That's fine, right? Totally different story. But if they're hating on your connection because they're freaking miserable, misery loves company. Miserable people want you to be miserable with them. Why do you think people hate on success? Because they are miserable. And so I think you need to be careful of this, not just in love, success in business, everything, right? And I feel you really need to kind of put up those boundaries at this time. That doesn't mean that you can never talk to your divorced friend again. That doesn't mean you can't ever talk to your friend that went through a horrible breakup recently again. It just means right now, maybe right now, you should be protecting something that's worth protecting. And again, if you have something in life that's worth protecting, you should protect it. If it's not worth protecting it, then throw it out, right? But, I would be careful. You have the Nine of Cups, the Justice card, and the Tower. The Nine of Cups can be like a card of fulfillment or wish fulfillment coming in for you, so love it, especially in the good stuff. Normally, outside of the good stuff, I do not read the Nine of Cups as wish fulfillment, but in this situation, I think this could be wish fulfillment. You have the Justice card. Justice is cause and effect. So with Justice, we have to pay attention to if we put energy into something, what do we get out of it? Meaning like if we're working on something or, building something or whatever, or creating something, including like a relationship, a business, whatever. If we put energy in, do we get energy out? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, stop and, make an appropriate change. And that's what we have to do with the Justice card. You have the Tower. Again, the Tower and the good stuff. No, like I kind of do feel that some of you are avoiding a Tower moment, which obviously would be a good thing. I also feel, the Tower in the good stuff can represent a good surprise. So there could be like a pleasant surprise coming in for you, and it could be in love, because obviously there's a lot of love here. And it's like maybe you're finding out that a person you're interested in is interested in you. I definitely feel that for some of you. But, again, I do feel pretty good about that Tower energy here. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Justice card. Yes, the more you pay attention to what's working, the better. The Justice card, like I said, is cause and effect. If I take this action, what is the result that I get? And you probably need to pay attention to this in all areas of your life. And if you do that, then things will probably go very well for you here, Cancer. So love it. With the Justice card, you have the Tower. How crazy is that? So there could be some sort of karmic surprise. The Tower can be a little bit karmic, right? So, you have both cards repeating in the same row. Kind of interesting. But, you could be absolutely, kind of seeing some karma come in here that would be like positive karma. It's coming up in the good stuff. One thing I will say that is very interesting to me is that we have Mars. Mars went retrograde in Leo. And now Mercury is going to go retrograde in Leo. The thing with Mars retrograde is that sometimes during Mars retrograde, we can experience like a legal issue. Not always true, but like if we do, usually the other side loses. Like if, let's say someone attacks us legally under a Mars retrograde, usually they lose, right? Or something happens. And, again, if you have dealt with something legal since like Mars retrograde or something, there could be some sort of breakthrough happening is what I'm trying to spit out here with this situation. With the Tower, you have the Hangman. This could be a surprise new perspective that would be good for you. It's like you could be seeing something from a different point of view. The people in the tower, they're coming down to reality. They've been ignoring reality. That's been their perspective, is ignoring something. Now they're being brought back down to reality, and they're seeing things from reality. Hangman, he is seeing things from upside down, and he's gaining enlightenment. But it's coming up in the good stuff, Cancer. So, whatever this reality is, could be a very good thing for you. It could be that you're, gaining perspective that leads to success. You have this April card and this Fair Man card. It says dealings or relationships with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. So definitely, this could be a person who's like born in the month of April coming in for you. You do have Taurus here with the Hierophant, so you could be attracting like a Taurus. It could be any sign, general reading. You have this Gong card. It says an exciting event. The Tower can be excitement, especially in the good stuff. So for some of you, this could just be excitement. I also feel like if you're moving, this could be excitement because of a move, or if you're making like a move. So there you go. You have this Mountain Road. It says you're on the road to success. Yes, the 210s, amazing. So definitely heading towards success. You have this Shark card. It says, take care, there will be loss in material wealth. Yeah, I think everybody needs to keep an eye on their finances. I don't think we should be paranoid. I just think we should pay attention, right? That's it. You have this Dog close up. It says, pleasure with close friends. Yes, so I would be paying attention to the friends that lift you up, that support you, not the ones that hate on whatever you're doing. I'm not saying that all of you are going to deal with the situation I was talking about. I'm just saying be careful of it. It's like if you have a friend that hates on your success, be careful, because it could ruin it. If you have a friend that hates your boyfriend, when your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever friend is perfectly fine, I would be careful of that, right? And I think, part of the solution here is getting clear with the 10 of Cups. Like I said, when we understand what we want and we take a cold, hard look about whatever people are complaining about, as long as it aligns with our vision, who cares what they say? Also, the other question I would ask you is, would you trade places with that person? It's like if you have a friend who's, miserable, recently divorced, it's like, would you trade places with that person's life? Probably not. So I would be careful, just plain and simple. But this looks good, Cancer. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.